So my name is Mike Cammock. I work in finance and the money side of stuff, and then generally also work with the support team, provide support team kind of oversight and assistance. And I am from New Zealand originally, born in Auckland, New Zealand, and grew up in Christchurch, New Zealand. And Christchurch is on the coast, but really close to the mountains, so you can see kind of snow-covered mountains year-round. But I don't live there anymore. I live in a small town of about 2,000 people called Windsor, Vermont, and I've lived here for about 13 years now, and I really like it. That's a really hard question. I don't like famous people. Like, being famous is probably like up there with my like least favorite things that would ever happen in my life. So I'd probably want to be a race car driver of some kind, because I really like to drive fast. But I'm trying to think of one that I can name that hasn't died in a fiery crash, because I don't want that to happen. So maybe not a race car driver. If I was to have my preferred choice of celebrity, it would be the first person who ends up on Mars. But obviously that person doesn't exist yet, so it's like a hypothetical celebrity. I do. It's from Pride and Prejudice. It is when Mr. Darcy is courting his romantic interest. He and her are having a little argument, and he says to her, "You expect me to rejoice in the inferiority of your connections and take pride in one whose social stature is so decidedly below my own." I just think it's like the greatest sentence ever written. No, I mean, it would be a horrible thing to say to somebody, right? It's just like totally and brutally nasty. Right? Like, of course I like you. You should like me too, but you expect me to rejoice in like how lame you are? No. Well, am I a zombie? If I'm a zombie, they should definitely be fast. If I'm not a zombie, they should definitely be slow. And that's the challenge, right? So when the zombie apocalypse comes, we won't know what we're facing until possibly after we're dead. I think headshots are necessary, like regardless with it, but that like it's a pretty small target when they're moving quickly. So definitely, if I am a zombie, I want to be a fast zombie. But if I am trying to escape from a zombie and still a living human, definitely zombies ought to be slow. I mean, if a hot dog is a sandwich, then pizza's a sandwich, right? Yeah, no, hot dog's not a sandwich. I mean, we can go pretty deep on the etymology of food, but definitely hot dogs are their own genre. Hamburgers are their own genre. And I also think it's kind of inappropriate to call a chicken that's in hamburger buns a sandwich. I think that's also flirting with some kind of semantic disaster right there. Yeah, I have a great app idea. It's called Graphme or something like that. You're having a debate with somebody about like, you know, the number of ants per hectare in like rural Australia or something. And you can go to this website and just say, I want a graph. I want a scatter graph that shows the number of ants per hectare in rural Australia. And it'll just make shit up. It'll just literally make up a graph. And then you can go and provide it to the person you're talking to and say, see, here's the information. It's made up nonsense. It's total made up nonsense, but it will provide like totally made up like graphs and like charts for like stuff that you want it to say. Because, you know, you always have these really random conversations and you get sucked into them with people. And then all of a sudden you find that you're like just saying absurd things. And you want to be able to come back and say, look, here it is.